Greetings everyone, Biracial Blurred here with this time, yes, another video, but a bit of a slideshow this time as well, as most of these images will not be moving, except for maybe when I discuss the Expanse. But anyways, I wanted to actually talk about an interesting topic that's been on my head, and that is diversity within sci-fi settings. And I'm going to use three specific pieces of content and three different mediums that discuss each of these things. So, and as shown here, it's going to be Horizon Zero Dawn, a video game, The Expanse, a TV show, and Saga, a comic book. So, to begin, let's discuss Horizon Zero Dawn. So the one thing about sci-fi settings that often I find interesting is how sometimes, especially in the past, they're often not diverse, which is crazy because I would predict that in the future, if you want to have sci-fi happening, it should be not only diverse ethnicities, but diverse aliens and creatures and people and what have you. That being said, Horizon Zero Dawn brings a lot of that diversity in its sci-fi setting. You kind of have this odd future mixing with the old and the new, and I actually don't want to spoil this one for you, so I'm not going to go too much into detail into it. But you've also got machines that are different animals and dinosaurs, so you've got diversity in robots and animals in a sense, and you've got women at the center, as most of the characters, as you can see by these various screenshots, are women, and they're powerful women, and some of them are black women as well, and other different types of ethnicities. And along with that, you've got a diversity cornucopia. Almost every other person in every other region is diverse. You have different settings for different tribes. However, within the tribes, there's multiple ethnicities, and even some people of different sexualities, as you have Petra here, who is actually a lesbian and definitely hits on your main character. So it's kind of interesting as a whole, and the diversity there being progressive and as it should be. Going along with TV shows, The Expanse, which is primarily Canadian, does a good job with ethnicities while making it a bit more hard sci-fi. While the alien element isn't as big here, you've got a really interesting look at diversity and class systems between Earth, Mars, and the asteroid belt. And that whole conflict between the three of them is a really interesting point of view, as they have very different points of view and how things should go. But along with that, there's also a whole bunch of diversity as I go through different cast members you'll see in the slideshow here. I mean, we've got Naomi, she's a black woman. You've got James Holden, who is a white captain. And yes, there's still white leadership at times, and that's still a bit of a mixed bag, but you've got some of his other characters. One of them is LGBT. You've got Kaz, the main pilot. He's Middle Eastern. You've also got Admiral Sarala, and she's Iranian, as Shore, her actress for it, is Iranian. And you've also got Kara Gee here. She's Ojibwe, which is a Native American group, First Nations, within Canada, and so on and so forth. You've got a wide variety of different generals and admirals, like Nguyen here, even who's East Asian Vietnamese. And there are several sequences where the diversity is kind of just like, oh, next character in this show, let's make them diverse. Next character, diverse. I mean, look at Bobby's group here, where there are no white men. You've got a multiracial leader, 2 black men and a white woman in this group. And then if you even look here, you have 2 different characters who are lesbians discussing their child. But not only that, one of the lesbians is a priestess. So you've got religion mixing and changing in its diversity element too. And this is all true because I don't think people always understand that if we're doing sci-fi, which is the future, we should be more progressive. And along with that, I don't think there's any more progressive example of this than Saga. So the wonderful Brian K. Vaughan, which I definitely want to do a podcast on just Brian K. Vaughan because of all the lovely comics he writes. Saga has probably extreme diversity. There are multiple ethnicities, not only in the human characters, but also in the alien characters as well. Like, different robots have different personalities and class levels. Different aliens have different colors and different things to them along that, and hierarchies. We've got centaurs, we've got different animals that can speak, and some that are more bipedal and some that are quadrupedal. and so on. We've even got LGBT. We have these two gay aliens here. Along with that, we have a more metrosexual butch lesbian look here with the Will sister, and you never know what you're going to get. We've even got non-binary characters. We've got transgender characters. Pregnancy is a big thing. We have handicapped characters. It's just literally almost every page. I never know what they're going to come up with next. Like what creature or person or robot or whatever type they're coming up with next. Which again is how sci-fi should be. And these are very shining examples of diversity. And it's important that we see this in sci-fi. And I like to think that if sci-fi isn't adhering to this sense of diversity, then it's not really science fiction. And it's more just someone's imagination trying to be science fiction. Anyways, hope you had a blast with this, and hope you enjoyed the short little slideshow.